I wanted to do this video as I was thinking, because I did the Pick Your Battles video just a short while ago. I wanted to do this one to kind of add on to the Pick Your Battles. And that would be the relevance of keeping up to date. You will find that eventually your makeup style, your persona, the character you've built starts to become stagnant, which is not always a bad thing. It gives you time to reflect and go back and say, okay, well, this worked, but that didn't work, and you have to view at the entirety of this situation, or scenario, I should say. As a performer, and I don't normally do this on camera, but I am a smoker, unfortunately, trying to quit. Because this is the real me. Becoming stagnant in your position, being stuck in doing the same shows, the same routine, whether you're a comedy queen, a dance queen, you gravitate towards one or the other. Some can do quite a bit, which are well-rounded, meaning like tap dance, splits, dancing, singing live, so on and so forth. And then there's some of us who can't dance for one reason or another. Mine just happens to be I have no bloody rhythm in my body whatsoever. There's nothing. I can't dance. I can slow dance. That's about it. I can do a little shimmy in my chair. So I gravitated towards the comedy portion, the stand-up portion. Now that does go so far. I've been doing it for progressively over the last 7 years. Whereas it started to become a little stagnant. Now, in order to get yourself out of that stagnant role, you're going to have to evolve the character. And that goes for anyone. In my case, I have to change it. In your case, it may be changing makeup, outfits, whatever. Now, I can only speak from my experience. I can't speak for yours or an empress or an emperor or whatever the case may be, or even RuPaul. You do have to evolve. You have to learn to expand the horizon. More doors will open if you're well-rounded than they will if you're just in one specific area. So, with that being said, let's talk about your makeup. Eventually you'll find that you are doing your face so it's paint by numbers. You know it so well that you could pump it out in X amount of time. Now, I am guilty of that. I can do that myself. I am very quick. I do know how to do my face the way I want it. And then there's times where I want to take 3 hours instead of 20 minutes to do my face and just soak it all in, try something new, whatever. So from my point of view, in my experience, I have had no choice but to take some time away. And that's not because I got stagnant, which it does happen. It's happened a couple times. But in my case, instead of just ad-libbing everything I do on the microphone, because when I go into a show, I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. If I can turn something into a joke, fantastic. It works. If I get people laughing, that's wonderful. That's what I was trying to do. But because I've gravitated towards the comedy aspect of being a drag queen, I find myself now where I have to write jokes. I have to remember the jokes because I'm not going to go out there with cue cards and read word for word from that script that I wrote down, those jokes. So you have to remember them. Even if that means I have to change my hairstyle, the wigs. I was a brunette when I first started in drag. I did have brown hair, much like my own now, except without the gray. And then I slowly started to get into blonde, where I was impersonating Bette Midler or Stevie Nicks. Now, from that point, you know, the evolution of your character builds and it continues and it brings up the momentum. Now you can do the same thing over and over again. I could have performed Bette Midler. I could have elevated the makeup skills more. I could have continued being Debbie Boone, Stevie Nicks, whoever. But that will only get you so far. Now, if you are a well-rounded drag queen and you are into everything, that works out to your favor. So going back to myself, with the jokes and everything, I had to start writing them down. Now, my makeup has had to change, and I have taken some time to change my makeup. Not necessarily make it more feminized for my face, because obviously I am a man. But more along the lines of the more dramatic, the dramatic stage makeup. Like I use stage makeup to do my face. Almost all of my products is stage makeup. So I've had to relearn everything. I've had to write down my jokes. I've had to do all of that just to evolve the character of Lily Devine. And I'm rambling on and my smoke went out. Anyways. Coffee. So, back to what I was saying. Hairstyles for my character. I went from brunette, blonde, and then I started branching out into shorter hairstyles, a bob, a curly bob, two-tone, blonde, and then it was back into the brown. A dark brown, almost black, and I'm tone colorblind, so a brown looks black to me depending on the shade of it. So I've started going back into the darker hair colors. Now I do have a wig that is a very dark brown, almost black. That has been changed. The style of it has been changed because it is very long and it is all curly, so it's very easy to get matted when I first got it, because I did get it from a friend. So things have to change. You definitely have to learn how to do your hair. You should learn how to do your hair, so then you don't have to rely on other people to do it for you or buying as is, because then your character starts to become stagnant. So I've gone back to the darker hair. I also have colored hair, which is like a red crimped with black roots. It is very fluffy, and I use it for the more dramatic numbers, like when I do perform, and I use it for even just going out, because it's not a lace front. It is just a full cap and easily to take off. But I have it. What I had done was I actually braided it from a straight and narrow side part. I had gone and braided front to back, side to side, all the way around in individual braids, and I actually threw it in a pot of boiling hot water, waited for a few seconds, took it out, straightened out what had started to kind of curl up, or, because once something lays down that's flat, especially with a synthetic wig, it'll actually get the bends in it from where it was laying down. So with straightening them out, I actually took cold water as I had them straightened to make it freeze into that angle. So it actually turned out really well. I'll do a video of all the wigs that I have another day, but I just wanted to touch base on becoming stagnant and involving your character. So, as I was saying, for myself, I can only speak from my experience. Now, I don't know if all drag queens or performers or like drag kings or anyone for that matter has had the same effect or feel they have the same effect. But it's definitely to take back and look at yourself and say, well, you know what? I could have changed it just a little bit. And in the end, if you change things up and you're looking at your pictures and you see, okay, well, my makeup got good from this point to this point, my outfit's got a little bit better from this point to this point, you're evolving, your character's evolving, so you're starting to get into that area where it's, okay, like, I see there's good coming from this. I've got a fantastic, like, sleek eye, cat eye, whatever. Doesn't matter. And eventually you'll find yourself getting to that point, and then you'll realize, well, that point is carrying for so long. I need to change it up because my bookings have started to slow down. Not a lot of people are paying attention, or just, oh, hey, how's it going? You have to evolve, change it. It's not an overnight progression. It's something you have to do over time. Because once you become stagnant, then you're virtually starting back from the beginning. Because although people know who you are, they know who you're about, what you do, stuff like that. It's the same thing all the time. People don't want to see the same thing all the time. They want to see something new, something fresh. So if you can evolve your character, as I am in the process of doing, and there will be a reveal of that in the future, you have to get over the hump. You have to start integrating yourself back into the community and community events so people can say, oh, geez, oh, I thought you were gone. I thought you did this or that or whatever the case may be. And sorry for the train because we do live near the tracks. Yeah, me too. You have to get over the hump. You have to start evolving, and that's the process that I'm in. And as I'm evolving the character to turning it into something else. You look at even some of the Drag Race girls. Their character in the beginning, as compared to what they are now, their character has evolved. They have branched out. There's other things that they have done, and they continue to do. So that's essentially the same format. You have to continue to evolve. Take your character further. Don't ever forget it. Eventually there will come a time where another 7 years down the road, or another year and a half down the road, I'm going to have to do the same thing again. Whether it be dropping 70 pounds and going back to dancing, even though I couldn't really do it in the beginning either, as I couldn't do now. But there's different aspects. You have to take it all into account. What do you want to do? Where do you want your character to go? What do you see for yourself in the future? Is this just a hobby, or is this something that you want to make a career out of? And in my case, I made a career out of it. But because I allowed myself to go stagnant because I got comfortable in the situations that I was in, I've had to take a step back. There was other factors like medical reasons and so on and so forth that I've had to step back a bit. But in that process, I can take a look at and say, hey, I need to change something up here because it's not working. It's not growing. It's not evolving. So in this time, because the last time I did drag was actually June 16th of this year, and we're into September. I haven't done drag since. I have put makeup on 3 times since. I have moved. I have restarted everything. Outfits, the whole 9 yards, because I have gotten to that stagnant version. Now, I can go any which way that I want because I have dived into the pageantry systems. I have dove into the comedic side. I have dove into the special appearances, fundraisers, benefits, public speaking. You know, there's all these different aspects that you can take, especially for anyone else for that matter. So you want to evolve your character. Well, which way do I want to go? And I'm thinking the next route that I want to go is not that I want to go. The route that I know I'm going is the pageantry system. Now I know that's big. It's like jumping into the lion's den and having all these lions around you. But it is what it is. It's the only way I'm going to better myself as an individual, as a person, parent, and a character. If I don't move along with it, I'm going to become stagnant. I'm going to be sitting in the same spot that I've been in for quite some time. And I'm not going to go anywhere. That's not what I want. Yeah, I've become complacent in certain aspects, you know, and I'd have no issues at this point sitting on the outside looking in, creating the shows, doing all that whole entire process of creating, molding, you know, think of this, why don't you try doing this during your performance or whatever the case may be. I can do that. But I love the performance aspect of it. This, you know, as long as one person leaves and is happy, I feel like I'm doing my job. So if I can evolve my character to look more elegant, glamorous, I'm still gonna probably walk like a football player in a pair of heels because I'm built like a brick shithouse. But if I can walk out even just by making an appearance, and that individual sitting there in the front row, as compared to those who are sitting way at the back, can take a look and go, holy shit, this is nothing compared to what we thought it was before, then I'm doing my job. I'm evolving my character. So that's what it comes down to in the moral of this video is evolve your character. Don't become stagnant. Take the time to take a look at things and say, okay, well, I need to change this, I need to change that. But take the positive from it. But don't forget to learn from the negative. So, with that being said, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.